Man, these conference finals have been awful. Just absolutely awful to watch. Hoping we have a decent game at least for Dallas Golden State Game 5. But if you guys are new, if you're a first-time viewer, welcome to my channel. My name is DK. I do cover content for Draftkings, for Prize Picks, for Super Draft, for NBA Top Shot. Super Draft is the sponsor of this video. Make sure to take advantage of my discount code DKDFS. $50 match on a $50 deposit. They have player prop entries where you can win up to 20 extra money as well as multiplier contests. So take advantage of the free money if you guys are a new user. Check that out, linked down below. And premium content you can check out my Patreon, NBA, USFL, and esports package are all linked down below. But all right, let's quickly take a look because I want to show ownership here in high stakes, and this really surprised me. Like, we knew Oladipo was going to be popular. I talked about this very in depth in the Patreon live stream. How, so I ended up still playing Oladipo, but it was because I had a very contrarian lineup. I played PJ Tucker in the captain, didn't end up cashing, but that was my reason for still playing Oladipo. But I put a ton of time on how I thought Oladipo was going to be very over-owned in tournaments based on the last game, and that there's no guarantee he was going to play big minutes, right? We talked about that in YouTube video as well. How if Oladipo struggled, they could very easily go to Strus. They could very easily go to Vincent. And that's basically what you saw. Oladipo struggled. They went to more Gabe Vincent, right? They went to more Duncan Robinson even. So it's amazing how one game can swing the ownership. And when I saw this ownership of the Hall of Famer, I was absolutely shocked. 86% in Victor Oladipo, right? In a fluid situation like that, just off of one gig game, he got 86% ownership. Now again, Oladipo straight up was not a bad play. Should he have been 86% owned? Absolutely not, right? Absolutely not. So wild that in the $2,000 entry, again, I saw this and I was like, what? 86% Oladipo. I mean, like I said, this series has been awful to watch. I think I've watched one full game. Like, I watched this whole game tonight, and still just brutal to watch. No one hit a shot except for Boston in the third quarter. I mean, Jimmy is clearly not healthy. Lowry, oh wow. He finished with negative 0.25 points. And what, he played like 30, 25, 30 minutes? Wow. Yeah, this was the winning lineup in high stakes. Was Tatum, Brown, Bam, Horford, Tucker, and Caleb Martin actually had a pretty good game. But yeah, I had PJ Tucker, who someone asked me in the Patreon stream who I'd prefer between Tucker and Oladipo. And I was like, PJ Tucker. And my reasons were, okay, PJ Tucker, as long as there's no foul trouble or blowout, is going to play big minutes, right? He's a big part of this rotation. Or Victor Oladipo, there's no guarantee, right? They're going to go with the hot hand situation. And you saw it tonight where Oladipo struggled. He played, like 15 minutes and was massive chalk. All right. So let's talk about Dallas Golden State here. Hoping this game can stay competitive. We've had some blowouts in the series so far. Obviously, playing on the road at Golden State, closeout game. There's a chance this game could get out of hand, but yeah, Luka Doncic, I mean, I don't have no idea why his price went down. He was 14.4 and now he's 12.6K. So I don't have to tell you what to do with Luka Doncic here. Phenomenal play at the top. The other options here for Dallas, so basically everyone played very well last game. Everyone shot well. Don't know if we can expect that again. But yeah, with Brunson, I mean, he should play mid-30s minutes. The guy with the next highest ceiling on Dallas, but very, very clearly the number 2. He's kind of just like there for me. I don't think I'm prioritizing Brunson, but his last piece set, I think that's all right. And with Dinwiddie, or with Bullock and Finney-Smith, like I said, they both shot well. You saw 9 of 13 from Dorian Finney-Smith, and Reggie Bullock even shot well after when I played him, shot 0 of 10. But 6 of 10, so again, both shot well. Both should play around 40 minutes, assuming no foul trouble or awful shooting. So once again, they're kind of just there in the mid-range, right? I don't really have any takes on Finney-Smith or Bullock. They both have shown a floor if they miss their threes, like Bullock last game. But again, they're both big parts of Dallas rotation, so they're both fine. Dinwiddie has played a bit more of late. We saw kind of down the stretch in the Phoenix series. Besides Game 7, he was actually playing like sub 20 minutes. But we've seen 32 and 28 minutes now over the last couple games. Now, yeah, you have had some Kleber foul trouble, but if we're going to consistently get 25 plus minutes from Dinwiddie, I do think he makes for a pretty good option in the mid range. A guy that definitely not a bad point per guy, right? He'll be aggressive on the offensive end. A decent shooter, can knock down some threes. So do some interest there in Dinwiddie and Maxi Kleber. So we're not going to get 30% Maxi Kleber most likely. His ownership is going to go up after last game. Here's what I'll say about Kleber. If this game stays competitive and he stays out of foul trouble, he most likely plays around 30 minutes. Dallas wants to play Kleber big minutes. He's a decent defender, decent shot blocker, and can space the court, knock out some threes. He's really struggled outside the last game, though, where, shooting the ball, like I said, and been some foul trouble, been some awful shooting. So he has very much shown the floor. But he's 4.4K, and there's not a lot of value on the slate. So I still have interest in Kleber. It's going to be interesting to see how much higher owned he's going to be based on one game, though. And then Bertans, like I said, he's going to play around 10 minutes. He had a good game last game, 5 rebounds, very much an outlier. Pretty score independent. He's fine. I would rather play Kuminga if there's no Otto Porter, who we'll get to. Dwight Powell. Talking about how bad Kyle Lowry's been. Has Dwight Powell been awful in the playoffs. 2.2K. It's just nothing more than contrarian dart throw. And as far as the 1K punts go, you did see Frank Ntilikina play 17 minutes. So I would rather take a shot on him than Josh Green. With Ntilikina, he's just out there for his defense. Really has a pretty low floor, but expect him to be at least in the rotation. So yeah, he's a viable punt play. And with Golden State, so Steph Curry at the top at 11K. I like him a good amount here. I think, pretty high floor. He's been doing a lot of the ball handling. He's been rebounding the ball pretty well this series as well. And he's had a decent shooting series as well. So I think Steph looks good at the top. Now, of the two spend ups, if I had to fade one, it would be Steph. But I think you could make a lineup with both Luka and Steph in there. So definitely like Steph there at the top. Clay is just nothing more than contrarian play. Again, once every 4 or 5 games, we'll have that good game. Maybe it's Game 5 here at home. He's known for Game 6, Clay. Maybe it's going to be Game 5, Clay. I don't know. Right now, like I said, nothing more than a contrarian dart throw. He has really not been good at all in the playoffs. Wiggins struggled last game. Also, you saw the starters lose minutes because of the blowout. He came back in with like a minute to go. Not super worried about it. Wiggins has been pretty aggressive on the offensive end, so still like him in the mid-range. One off game, not really going to get me off him. And Draymond Green had a solid game as well. Didn't end up coming back, only played 26 minutes. I do think he's going to play mid-30s minutes in this game, so he's competitive. And obviously, he's a guy that does have some triple-double upside. So 2 mid-range guys I like in Wiggins and Green. Poole, more of the high-risk, high-reward play. He's been in foul trouble now, back-to-back games to bail out the faders. It's really, really, really pissed me off, the random Poole foul trouble. Really just pissed me off. But, if Otto Porter is out, I do think we get around 30 minutes in Poole, possibly more if he plays well. Obviously not that good in the defensive end, but clearly a guy that can bring it offensively. So do have some interest in Poole. We'll keep an eye on Porter. If Porter misses, feel a little bit better about him. And then Looney at 7K was a massive bust last game, did only play 20 minutes. I do think if there's no Porter, he's probably playing 25 to 30. Makes him a solid option. However, would rather go to Wiggins, would rather go to Draymond at a similar price point. So Looney does rank behind those guys a bit. But still a guy that is about a fantasy point per minute guy. And like I said, if you get 25 to 30 minutes from him, I think it makes him a decent option. But if Porter plays, I do think it makes his minutes a little bit riskier. So Porter kind of is the key to opening up plays in Golden State. You're going to feel better about some guys in the mid-range if he doesn't play. And you're going to feel, I guess, pretty good about Kuminga, who we'll talk about here in a sec. Now, if Otto Porter ends up playing and there's no limitations, I think he's playing his normal role, playing around 20, 24 minutes off the bench, which would make him a good value. Obviously, you'd have to deal with the fact of there's a chance he can re-aggravate that injury. It happened last game he played, so we'll see. And if Porter doesn't play, we saw Kuminga in the regular rotation, and he played relatively well. Now, I don't think we get 22 minutes again. It was kind of a weird game, right, where the bench made a run, and they kind of stuck with the bench until like the last couple of minutes. So I don't think we get 20-plus minutes, but at this price point, you really don't need that many minutes. Like, if Kuminga plays like 12 to 15 minutes, that's enough, right? He's a good point per minute guy. So The only worry would be, is there a chance he DNPs here? I would be pretty surprised based on last game if he DNPs. He played over JTA, so you never know with Steve Kerr though. But again, if there's no Otto Porter Jr., I do think Kuminga makes a really solid value. And then Moody's fine. I mean, he did get a price bump to 2K. Played a lot more last game, like I said. Kind of a weird game. I think on average we're probably getting low teens minutes from Moody, right? Maybe around 15, like 12 to 15 minutes, which makes him a fair value. But I would rather play Kuminga. Like, if both play similar minutes, just give me Kuminga over Moody all day long, right? Because Kuminga is just the much better point per minute guy of the two. You did see a little bit of Damian Lee. I'm not sure we see Damian Lee again. You saw a little bit of Bielitsa in garbage time as well. But, yeah, that is really it. So, basically what I'm hoping for, can we just get a actual decent game to watch? Not a brick fest. No blowout. Like I said, the conference finals have been pretty brutal to watch. I'm just hoping for a decent game, no blowouts. Now, obviously, if you think Golden State blows out Dallas, you can make a build like that. We've covered how I think you should do that a lot in Patreon, but basically loading up on Golden State and then maybe playing Luka too, just because Luka has a pretty high floor, and then looking to guys who would play well in a blowout, right? Like a Kuminga. A Moody, Bielitsa. Those are all guys who can have good games in garbage time. On the Dallas side, like if they end up emptying the bench, maybe like a Marquise Chris, right? He's like a pretty good point per minute guy that would get garbage time runs. So those are all factors you can consider if you are playing for the blowout. But other than that, guys, I think it's going to wrap it up. So for the video, again, appreciate you guys as always for watching. Just make sure to like if you do enjoy, subscribe as well. And I'll see you guys all in the next one.